I have so much respect for my competitors, but when people compare me to the other competitors, it really doesn't even faze me because I know I'm already going to win.
Athletes want to compete at the CrossFit Games because it is the pinnacle of their sport. If you just get to that point, you are one of the 40 fittest people on the planet.
I don't enter a competition thinking that I'm going to lose. Going into the CrossFit Games, my sole purpose there was to win.
Coming into the 2022 season, Tia Toomey has a chance to stand alone in history, to be the first and only athlete to win 6 consecutive CrossFit Games titles.
The question was like, how is she going to do it and what's that going to look like? I don't think it's going to look like years in the past where it's just win, 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 win.
Toomey's back to 0. Oh no. And O'Brien is across.
I do not care how hard I go, I'm just going for it.
A horse will race so fast that the heart explodes, that's Mal.
For the first time in 5 years, we are going to get to see Ricky Garrard at the CrossFit Games. The last time we saw him was 2017. He finished 3rd, and then he tested positive for PEDs.
Seeing Ricky wearing the white leaders jersey, I think forced a lot of people to confront a question that maybe we hadn't really considered about what our feelings would be around the possibility of not only Ricky coming back, but winning.
He dropped that, I was like, you're gone.
Yeah. Everyone's just roaring for someone to beat Ricky.
Roman Krennikov went into destruction mode. He just looked like a machine out there.
I know you're hurt. Everybody's hurt, and you're tougher than everybody.
You just get so hyped up, and you're like, I'm ready to attack this.
This is going to be one of the most epic Saturday nights we've ever had.
We've seen this before between Tia Toomey and Laura Horvath. He's got to keep his balance. He's got to keep his balance. Garrard will do it, and Medeiros will do it.
I got into coaching CrossFit maybe a year and a half into doing CrossFit. I was worried that competing in CrossFit and coaching in CrossFit, that I would burn myself out, making CrossFit basically my whole life. That's the thing that I did for fun. It was my outlet. It was the thing that I did to be healthy. And that if it was my job, it wouldn't feel the same anymore.
Just take that ball to your hip. There we go.
Coaching made me fall in love with CrossFit more. You learn more when you have to explain to people what you're doing as an athlete. I love watching beginners who have done nothing athletic in their whole life discover what it feels like to move your body and to be healthy and to feel capable and strong. Like, that's just the coolest thing to watch people go through. It's so transformative for them. Being an athlete, you make small adjustments or even big adjustments, and it gives you this much. In our members, I make this much adjustment, and it gives them a life-changing experience.
Just a warm-up. You don't have to break anything to do this. Don't go too far if you're not feeling it yet.
CrossFit teaches you how much more capable you are than you would ever have believed of yourself. People think pain is like a normal part of just aging. You get older and pain happens, and you just have to accept that. You get people out of pain and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know life could not be painful. And it's awesome. That's the reason that I love coaching the demographic that we coach.
I want you to just squat jump without the med ball.
Being a coach has made me a better athlete because I really have to be a student of the sport. I really have to pick apart everything that I'm doing. I have to understand why and how and explain it to other people. And I've lived it. I've tried it through experience. I haven't just read about it or learned it in a certification about what the best recovery tools are, what the best nutrition practices are, what the best training tools are, injury prevention, stress management, sleep. I've done them all and I've tried them all, and I can talk to people and say, okay, here's where I think is going to make the biggest difference for you. Here's what I think is going to fit into your life best. We can have those conversations, and I have so much more to give because I have become a master of my craft. I heard a stat, like 14% of the US population has a gym membership, and that just blew my mind.
90, dig in, push pull.
14%. what is happening to the other 86%? Like, how do we reach those people?
5 more seconds, Joe, let's go.
Those people are the people that need what we can provide, and I want to access those people.
Individual test number 6 at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. It's a lot like Bob's Country Bunker. We got both kinds of fitness, inside and outside.
I'm so glad we're inside because it's been a hot day all day, but to finish Friday night in the Coliseum here in Madison, Wisconsin, there is nothing like it.
Overall standings have Roman Krenikov sitting atop them once again. Finally had a bad event, finished 9th in the last test.
It's over. It's over.
But he is running away with this thing.
He is, and he's running away in a big way. Already has a 105-point lead on Chandler Smith, of all people.
Roman Krenikov has 2 test wins, nothing lower than 9th place. And he has a very comfortable cushion atop the overall standings. But it is close behind him. Only 18 points separate Chandler Smith in 2nd from Jay Crouch in 6th.
Well, here's the other thing, Sean. With the test that we have coming up, it is going to be so tight at the top that seconds can determine 5 to 10 places at a time.
Test 6 is Helena.
Helena, a knock or a nod to Helen, a classic CrossFit benchmark test. 400-meter run, 12-bar muscle-ups, 21 alternating dumbbell snatches at 50 pounds.
Recipe for success delivered by Trifecta is
run like you stole it. There is no other choice than to run as hard as you can. Burn the boats. There is no retreat.
Nikki Brazier and Mike Arsenault are going to have us covered down on the competition floor and outside. Let's start with Nikki Brazier.
Thank you, Sean. You mentioned it, Chase. This is a take on Helen. If you've spent any time in a CrossFit affiliate, you've probably done a test like this. But instead of pull-ups, the athletes will be doing bar muscle-ups on that rig behind me. And instead of kettlebell swings, they will use these dumbbells for single-arm dumbbell snatches. And for more on the run, let's send it out to Mark Arsenault.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Well, the last time we ran outside the Coliseum was back in 2021. We've doubled the distance. Where I'm standing right now is at the end of a pretty significant incline that these athletes will have to navigate as we move through these 3 rounds of Helena. It's still warm, it's still hot, humid outside here at the Coliseum, so it's going to be Well, hot in terms of the competition as well. Of course, that cut line is just moments away here in test number 6, Sean.
Thank you, Mike. 8 men will be in this first of 5 heats. Cole Sager is in lane number 6 and right now on the wrong side of the cut line, but if anyone is known for dramatic comebacks at the last second, it's Cole Sager.
The comeback kid, the Sager-Tooth Tiger in his final year at the CrossFit Games, 10 in a row, 29 points out. This is a Cole Sager moment.
If you notice the staggered start, that is so the athletes on the outside have an even run with the athletes on the inside, much like a track meet.
And what's going to happen is as they go round to round, the run distance from outside to rig will even out over the course of 3 rounds, which, Sean, like you said, is why that staggered start is there.
So they will get 1 rep on the score once they touch the pull-up bar.
Well, and the question
12 bar
comes in,
muscle-ups and 21 snatches.
and the question was, well, why isn't this harder? It's the CrossFit Games. Shouldn't it be 15 bar muscle-ups or a 70-pound dumbbell? Because that's not what Helen, the benchmark test, is. It's 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings at 53 and 35, and then 12 chin-over bar pull-ups. The point is that the 21 and the 12, everyone can do it fast, and everyone can do it unbroken, which means this turns into a run test. How fast are you willing to go to get first?
Alex Vigneault and Kaike Servani will be the first 2 men back. And Michael Wesolowski is third, followed by Kalian Sousa. And now here come Jake Douglas, Cole Sager, and Artur Semenov. 12 bar muscle-ups.
And you know the athletes are doing bar muscle-ups in different positions on the rig. You can see Cole Sager on the left. It's because they're different height pull-up bars, so that the taller athletes have an opportunity to get a good, decent kip on the swing portion of the bar muscle-up.
Right now, Alex Vigneault is your leader. Along with Michael Wesolowski, they were 2 of the first men back to the pull-up bar.
As we said, Sean, is all the athletes are basically getting off the rig at the same time. Dumbbell snatch at this weight, no problem. It's coming down to the run. And on the first run pace, your top athletes were at a 1:14 run pace. It's a sub 5-minute mile pace based off that first 400.
They will not advance down the floor on these dumbbell snatches. They're going to do 21 in the same spot. The judges will turn those placards in front of the athletes to indicate what round that they are on. So 3 total rounds here, and this is the final portion of this, and then back out to start round number 2, and that's 400-meter run. So 11-minute time cap here is Kaike Servani and Kalian Sousa are the first 2 men out, along with Alex Vigneault. Here come Wesolowski, Sager, and Jake Douglas.
Servani's first run was a 1:16 400-meter split. And this, in classic Helen, is the toughest run. It's the one in the middle. You know you have another one at the end. You know to succeed in this test that you have to run just as hard as the first one, still knowing you are not even halfway through the test.
Servani and Kalian Sousa, the 2 men who qualified out of the South American semifinal, right next to each other here as they begin round number 2, 400-meter run. Here come Vigneault and Wesolowski. Now, all these men are on the wrong side of the cut line right now. The top 30 athletes after this test will advance. Here's Servani and Sousa back to the pull-up bar at the same time, followed by Wesolowski and now Alex Vigneault.
And Sousa in lane number 5 is the closest to the cut line. He's in the light shorts in the center lane. He's at 33rd place as Cervini is trying to stay ahead of Sousa.
At the 47 rep mark, they will advance. Sosa and Cervini tied for the lead here, so a battle between the two South American athletes, and Sosa's gonna get off the bar first. Right behind, or along with, I should say, Kaike Cervini. So they have 21 dumbbell snatches here. At the 68 rep mark, they will head back out for the final 400-meter run. Now Alex Vino, left side of your screen, getting to work on his 21 dumbbell snatches.
Sosa being the only athlete in the light shorts, left part of your screen. He's in 33rd place, 8 points out of that 30th place position.
50 pounds on the dumbbell, 22 kilos. Not going to be a problem for these athletes. And talking to Adrian Bosman, the competition director, earlier today, we were talking about this test in particular. He says you have to have the guts to race. There's Sosa and Cervini leading the way.
And Sean, it really comes down to this last run. When we come into the pull-up rig, there's really no separation on 12-bar muscle-ups with the caliber of athletes that we have. With the dumbbell snatches, it's really hard to separate yourself from the other athletes with a 50-pound dumbbell snatch. This is basically their last opportunity to catch, pass, or extend a lead on one another.
11-minute time cap in this test. We're past the 6-minute mark. And Sosa and Cervini are way ahead of the pack here in this first of 5 heats. And things will work a little differently here. We're going to do the first 4 heats of men, then we'll hand things off to the women. And then we'll have the 5th heat for the women and the men back to back later on. That's over on ESPN. Sosa and Cervini both making their first appearances here at the CrossFit Games and trying to, again, stay alive past this test. We cut down to 30 athletes after Helena. And Sosa and Cervini now back to the pull-up rig.
It's got to be right up. You're basically like running in to jump up to the pull-up bar.
Sosa right to work. Here comes Cervini, and it's going to be Michael Wesolowski behind them. And Cole Sager now in 4th. The 81 rep mark. That is when Cervini and Sosa will be able to move on to their final set of 21 dumbbell snatches. Alex Vino is back in. Final 2 reps for Calian Sosa, and he is done. So 21 final reps for the rookie out of Brazil. And then the sprint across the finish line. Cervini onto the dumbbell snatches, bottom of your screen. (102) total repetitions here, and it's Sosa who has a 6-rep lead on Cervini. Wesolowski sits in 3rd, Sager's in 4th, and now Alex Vino getting to work in the blue shorts towards the top of your screen. Here comes Jake Douglas.
Well, Cervini's gotten 3 no reps in this last set.
And there is Calian Sosa trying to keep himself alive with the heat win. He came in 33rd place overall, so he only has to creep up 3 spots to get inside the cut line, and now Cervini is done. Wesolowski is across, as is Cole Sager. Sager with a time of 8:51.53 seconds. Wesolowski was a second faster than him, and now Alex Vino is done. And Jake Douglas also making his first ever appearance here at the CrossFit Games. He is done.
John, we touched earlier on how tight these times are going to be because of the way this test is designed. and you already have 3 athletes within 3 seconds of each other in the first heat alone.
Arthur Semenov will be the last man to finish, and as he always does, Cole Sager is out on the floor trying to urge the crowd to get behind Arthur. But it is Calian Sosa who has your top time, 8 minutes 37.56 seconds with 4 heats remaining for the men.
Gotta run your little heart out, Sean. That's what it takes. Everyone can go unbroken. Everyone can move fast inside the Coliseum, but what you do outside is the decider on who's gonna take this test, and it was Souza who had the fastest runs than any other athlete in this heat. That soccer background showing up in this test.
As a result, Calian Sosa has the top time, 8:37.56 seconds, followed by fellow Brazilian Kaique Cerveni. 5 heats remain for the men, or pardon me, 4 heats remain for the men here in test 6. We're going inside out for test number 6 here as we close out day 2 of competition for the individuals at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. Thanks for being with us, everybody, inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. We have Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor. Test number 6 is a spin on a CrossFit Classic.
We might be going inside out during this event, but this is an all-out type of event. We have 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle ups, 21 alternating dumbbell snatches. We'll do that 3 times as fast as we can.
Recipe for success delivered by Trifecta.
Oh, it's all about the run, and run like you stole it, Sean. You got to move your feet as fast as you can when you get outside the doors. Burn the boats. There is no option for retreat, only forward.
8 men in this second of 5 heats, and there are men in this heat who are trying to work their way on the right side of the cut line. In lanes 1 and 2, it's Ant Haynes and Heinrich Happelainen. Haynes right now is on the right side of that cut line. He sits in 29th place overall. Happelainen is in 31st. He's got to gain 2 spots to stay alive.
Well, as you see, Heinrich Happelainen right there, just like you said, Sean, 1 point out of that 30th spot. But how about Ant Haynes? Got the call at the midnight hour to come to the CrossFit Games, dropped everything, came over here, and has an opportunity to make the first cut.
And Cole Griesaber down in lane 7 is the man everyone is chasing. He sits in 30th place. He would be the last guy in. Griesaber on the right side of your screen in the white shorts.
Griesaber, the world's most wanted man at the moment here in Madison, Wisconsin, as he is the gatekeeper of that top 30. And then Fabian Benito, again, look at the point spread. So close.
Only 2 points separate Benito in 32nd from Grisaber in 30th. So this test will go a long way towards determining who winds up inside the cut line as we head into the final 2 days of competition.
And I don't usually say this, but in a test here, you can't start too fast. You can only start too slow.
Stand by.
Once again, the staggered start to even out the run distance throughout the test. And we begin with that 400-meter run. Time to beat belongs to Calian Sosa. He had a time of 8:37.56 seconds in heat number 1.
And in heat 1, the fastest split actually came from Vigneault at 1:14. Sosa was about 5 seconds behind him, but Vigneault was on the outside lane where Sosa was in the middle lane. So that timing difference is a little off. As we said earlier, the distances will even out over the course of 3 rounds. But definitely coming in under 120 is a must if these athletes want to have a competitive time.
Heinrich Happelainen is out front ahead of Uldis Upniks, and it's Cole Grisaber behind him, followed by Ant Hayes and Jason Hopper. Happelainen and Uldis Upniks will be the first 2 men in. That gorgeous drone shot brings the athletes back inside the Alliant Energy Center. And Happelainen and Upniks getting right to work, as does Grisaber. Now the whole field is back for their set of 12-bar muscle-ups. There are 102 total score rounds, of reps, in this test. At the 13 rep mark, that's when they will advance for their first set of 21 dumbbell snatches.
Keep in mind what they've done over the last 5 tests. They've done 50 chest to bar pull-ups yesterday, 100 toes to bar, 16 bar pullovers, 6 legless rope climbs this morning, so the grip isn't exactly fresh coming into tonight.
It's Uldis Upniks who's the first man to start his dumbbell snatches, followed by Heinrich Happelainen and Ant Hayes. Jack Farlow got there as well, pretty closely behind them, and Fabian Benito on the far side of the floor. He'd be on the far right, opposite of Heinrich Happelainen.
And one thing to be wary of is speed is one thing, but only having to do 21 reps is another. With this weight being so light for these athletes and the need to go fast, we also need to make sure is that we've got clean reps. 1 no rep on a dumbbell snatch, 2 seconds lost. It's gonna be hard to make that up anywhere else.
Happelainen only has a handful of reps left. He's down to his final 2 as that dumbbell needs to go from the ground directly to overhead. You have to show it in a locked-out position, a straight arm for the rep to count. Have to alternate arms in the process. And Happelainen is gonna be the first one back out, followed by Upniks and Hayes. And here comes Fabian Benito, Jack Farlow, Cole Grisaber, Jason Hopper, and now Luke Parker.
You've done the classic benchmark. This is designed off of Helen. The second run is the toughest and most vital part of the entire test. Last run, adrenaline may take over. You know this is the end nearly, but this one, this is the one that really challenges your resolve here in this test.
There's Uldis Upniks, he's out front, followed by Happelainen and Ant Hayes. Upniks in his 4th career appearance here at the CrossFit Games. His best finish came last year when he took 21st at Riga, Latvia.
Remember last year, he won the sprint portion of that back-to-back test of the shuttle to overhead. So we know Uldis is a great runner for speed and for rounds, but he's also a fantastic gymnast on the bar.
Upniks right to work on his 2nd set of bar muscle-ups. At the 47 rep mark, he'll move back to the dumbbell. The leader's name and the scoring hat on the top of your screen will be on the far left, and the number in the white box will indicate how many repetitions that man has completed. The number next to everyone else's name will show how many reps by which they trail the leader.
They're ahead of pace of Souza in heat 1. Souza's second 400 was 142. Uldis's was 129.
Upniks is done first. Haynes and Haapalainen are neck and neck now for second place.
And fast reps, clean reps.
Here come Fabian Benito at the bottom of your screen, Jack Farlow in that light blue shirt, and now Jason Hopper, Luke Parker, and Cole Griesaber.
.21 reps. Uldis Upniks on the right. And then the last opportunity these athletes are really going to have to separate themselves is going to come in this third and final 400-meter run.
Upniks with 3 reps to go, and then he'll be back out for his final 400-meter run, and he has done it. It's Ant Haynes now, who is hold even with Uldis Upniks, and now Heinrich Haapalainen has fallen back into third place. Fabian Benito is in fourth as he just finished up his second round of dumbbell snatches.
On that last run, Haynes and Upniks were only separated by 0.6 of a second. But Ant actually ended up closing the gap on Uldis once they came into the stadium. So Uldis is going to have to try to put a little distance on Ant Haynes, who's right on his heels because Haynes had the faster 12 and 21.
Final 400-meter run here. Uldis Upniks remains in the lead. Ant Haynes is right on his heels, followed by Heinrich Haapalainen. These 3 men have been towards the front for the entirety of the second of 5 heats.
Once we came into the stadium, I said 0.6 of a second separated the run. But Haynes was 3 seconds faster once he got to the rig and the dumbbell.
And this is big for Ant Haynes because he is trying to stay on the right side of the cut line. Again, 29th place coming in overall. Top 30 athletes move on after this test. Heinrich Haapalainen also helping himself out because he is in 31st. He's the first man on the wrong side of the cut line. He's ahead of Cole Griesaber, the man right in front of him.
Exactly. Griesaber's in 30th, but he's not inside the Coliseum, so that's good for Haapalainen.
Uldis Upniks right to work. Haapalainen and Ant Haynes right behind him. 8:37.56. Kallian Souza's time in the bottom left-hand part of your screen. Now here comes Fabian Benito and Luke Parker.
See Haynes and Upniks. Haynes cycling just a little bit faster.
81 reps, that's what they need to complete before they start their third and final set of dumbbell snatches. Upniks on his final one, and he is done. On to the dumbbell for Uldis Upniks. Here comes Ant Haynes. So Upniks able to get 1 rep in before Haynes touches the dumbbell, and now Haapalainen has started.
Haynes is 2 seconds quicker on the snatches in the previous round. And I think he's about 2 behind going in these last 21 reps.
So Ant Haynes is right with Uldis Upniks. 102 total score repetitions, and then it's the sprint to the finish, and this could come down to that.
Haynes he's moving.
Upniks about a half a rep ahead of Haynes. The final rep for each man. Upniks is going to finish first. Haynes is going to get in second place in the heat. And now Heinrich Haapalainen is across. So all 3 men beating the top time from Kallian Souza in the first heat of 8:37.56 seconds as Benito has come across.
Sean, look in the back at the rig. That's Jason Hopper. Jason Hopper coming in was an athlete for a time that could potentially podium as Parker gets across. But Hopper, who's sitting in 26th, is not safe from the cut line.
Well, Farlow is in, and now Jason Hopper, as you mentioned, Chase, 26th place overall with 195 points. He was only 33 up on Cole Griesaber. And we still have 3 heats left, and those times will be a factor.
But now we look at the previous heat with Souza, who was only 8 points out.
Hopper gutting through these, and he will get in. And Jason Hopper right now, with that result, is going to be towards last place in these first two heats. Have to wait for his official time, but this is a three-person battle from the start.
Well, Havalainen went out and tried to put his destiny in his own hands. Went out strong with Uldis, but Uldis, who's known for his speed, known for his gymnastics, dumbbell's not going to be an issue. And Haynes gave him pretty much all he could once we got into the Coliseum, but Uldis Ubenik's, bottom right part of your screen, was able to hold on just by a hair over Ann Haynes and sets the new time to beat.
Only a 2-second cushion between Upniks and Haynes. 8:19.90 seconds now your top mark. We mentioned Jason Hopper, his time of 9:39.51 seconds. Right now, 14th out of the 16 men who have gone, so we'll keep an eye on that. 3 heats remain in test 6 for the men. Action continues here on the second day of competition for the individuals at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. We're going to be inside and outside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Test number 6. It's the halfway point. It's a twist on a CrossFit Classic.
Classic. Helen, one of the best classic CrossFit tests out there from our girl benchmark tests. Spicing it up a little bit here. 40-meter run, 12-bar muscle-ups, 21 alternating dumbbell snatch at 50 pounds.
Recipe for success. You've watched a couple heats. Have you added or taken anything out?
Oh, no. This is exactly what AJ Bosman dialed up. You got to run. You got to run like you stole it, Sean. And there's no plan B. Burn the boats, storm the castle, retreat, or perish.
A drive with the fear. Maybe put a cooler in the front seat.
Damn cooler in the car.
8 men out on the floor for heat number 3 here. And in lanes 2 and 3, you got Will Morad and Noah Olson safely inside the cut line, but they're looking to better their cause as there's another cut looming.
Yeah, well, Noah Olson, you do you, boo-boo. Guess what?
This is
You
made
get to
for
go
Noah.
out fast. Your claim to fame, you get to go out fast this time.
Will Morad, 21st place overall. Noah Olson, in his 10th straight appearance at the CrossFit Games, sits in 19th, and we're underway. And if you're not very familiar with the sport or you're new to CrossFit, Noah Olson has a reputation of hitting the nos early.
Look, it took 10 years to get here, but I'm sure his coach walked up and he goes, it's time.
You've been training your whole
You've
career
been
for
doing this for a decade, and now it is your time.
So the top time is Oldest Upniks. Did that in the prior heat, 8 minutes, 19.90 seconds. Lazar Jukic is the man who is out front. Noah Olson is behind him, followed by Will Morad.
Now Lazar Jukic, who's in the lead, he is easily an athlete that could win this entire thing. He's a great runner. We saw that on display in 2021. There's a 3 rounds of 30 toes to bar in a 1.5 mile run. Won the whole thing, holding a sub 7-minute mile pace the entire time.
So Jukic is going to be the first man in, and he is followed by Morad, Olson, Sam Quant, and James Sprague.
1:14 pace for Lazar Jukic. It's about a 4:56 mile pace.
There are 34 reps per round. So at the 13 rep mark, Lazar Jukic will hop off the pull-up bar, then he will advance to that 50-pound, 22-kilo dumbbell and have to perform 21 alternating dumbbell snatches. And now there goes Lazar Jukic. Dumbbell has to be directly overhead, switch hands, hit the ground, repeat for 21 reps. Noah Olson and Will Morad now onto their dumbbell snatches, along with James Sprague and Sam Quine. At the 34 rep mark, they will go back out on their 400-meter run. And again, they are not advancing the dumbbells down the floor.
Now, a subtle difference here with the dumbbell snatch versus a traditional kettlebell swing is that you're having to take it all the way down to the ground. It's going to tax those hamstrings and that low back way more than a kettlebell swing traditionally would, which is going to make that run just a little bit harder.
Noah Olson is hoping the last time is the best time, as Jukic is off first along with Morad and Olson, and here come Quant and James Sprague behind them. Round number 2 starts with the 400-meter run.
Your top 3. Lazar had the fastest run split. Noah had the fastest bar muscle up split. And Will Morad had the fastest dumbbell snatch split.
And Jukic trying to stay ahead of Will Morad and Noah Olson. Jukic, making his 3rd career appearance at the CrossFit Games, has never finished lower than 9th. And had his best career finish last year when he took 8th place overall. Has 2 test wins in his career. Jackie Pro last year, the final event of the 2022 Noble CrossFit Games, and then the event you mentioned in 2021.
When for Lazar, if you think about some of the best European athletes in the sport, he is in the top of that tier at the moment. Where you think of the best one to ever do it coming out of Iceland, BKG. Lazar could be the future of the European contingency here at the CrossFit Games.
Jukic onto his 2nd set of 12 bar muscle-ups. Here come Morad and Olson. Sam Quant's the man on the left side of the screen in the white shorts, and James Sprague on the right. Lazar Jukic, 17th place overall with 239 total points. His best finish was a 2nd place in the pig chipper. That was the 2nd test on Thursday.
This is where Noah caught Lazar and Will Morad on these 12-bar muscle-ups. Close the distance a bit.
Well, Jukic is done, Morad is done. And now Noah Olsen.
Morad in the first round was almost 3 seconds faster than Jukic was on these 21 dumbbell snatches.
Top 4 men on the screen right now, and James Sprague, who's out of the shot on the opposite side of the floor. He sits in 5th, and now Nick Matthew is onto the dumbbell snatches. The 68 rep mark will signify the end of round 2. And Lazar Jukic is now 4 reps away from that. Jukic is done. Morad will be next. And now Noah Olsen is done. But Jukic starting to widen his lead here as we head into the 3rd and final round.
If Morad can stay close, he has an opportunity. But he's, again, we said this for 2 heats. It comes down to the last run. Not a lot of wiggle room in the other movements inside the Coliseum. Morad still had a 3-second faster split on the dumbbells. So if he can get within 2 or 3 seconds at the end of this run, he can set himself up to potentially pass Lazar at the end.
And Will Morad, a former collegiate soccer player, played D1 soccer at Belmont University. He went to Ravenwood High School, played soccer there. He was named to the All-State team in his junior year, so he can run.
Yeah.
8 minutes, 19.90 seconds is the time to beat. Probably not for much longer. And here comes Lazar Jukic, as that's Bronislaw Alenkowicz, who's now just starting round 3. Lazar Jukic all by himself into the Coliseum, followed by Will Morad. And now Noah Olsen is in. Jukic right to work. Morad in the crowd trying to get Noah Olsen into the fight for first here. At the 81 rep mark, they'll move back to the dumbbells. And Jukic is now 3 reps away from that. And Jukic is done. Got 21 reps left. Now here comes Morad.
It's going to be close. He had about 4 seconds on Morad. He's been losing 3 to him per round.
$102, so 10 reps remaining for Lazar Jukic. Will Morad is right on his heels, and look at the speed from Will Morad. Morad has now tied him. They are rep for rep here. Hand in the air for Morad, hand in the air for Jukic. So Morad has taken the lead on the final round. This is going to come down to a sprint to the finish, and it's going to be Will Morad. Lazar Jukic is in 2nd, and now Noah Olsen will take 3rd, and that's a big finish for him because those are the top 3 times we have seen so far. .805.63 seconds for Will Morad, and look at the difference, 3 seconds.
I mean, Morad turned the jets on about the last 10 reps.
Now here comes Sam Quant. Quant will take 4th in the heat. Right now, 9th place in the test. As James Sprague, Nick Matthew, and David Sharonke have all come across. Leaves Bronislaw Alenkowicz, Big Bron, the last man out on the competition floor. Crowd getting behind Big Bron. Bron making his 2nd career appearance here at the CrossFit Games. Finished 42nd back in 2019. That year was a bit of an outlier, as there were about 200 participants to start that competition. And Bronislaw Alegowicz is done. And Will Morad now has a top time at 8:05.63 seconds and just methodically chipped away at Lazar Djukic's lead.
We said it was hard to make up on the run, but unless you're Will Morad, I'll addendum that statement, but Lazar on the left held the lead the entire time until we got to the last 10 reps. And Will Morad in the blue just turned on the jets and got the last 21 done. His fastest split by 6 seconds on the dumbbell snatches.
Will Morad by 3 seconds over Lazar Djukic. It's Noah Olson finishing third, followed by Sam Quant and James Sprague. Heat number 4 coming up next. Two heats remain for the men in test number 6 as we reach the halfway point of competition here at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games, and we're going to close out Friday inside and outside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. We got Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor, and test number 6 is Helen on. It might look a little familiar.
A little take on Helen. 3 rounds, 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle ups, 21 dumbbell snatches, 50 pounds, and a whole lot of intensity because you gotta run, and you gotta run fast. Run like you stole it, and then burn the boats. We're charging forward no matter what. There is no plan B.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta. Here are the men in the 4th of 5 heats. Justin Medeiros will be in lane number 6, and he has been creeping up the overall standings. He's been as low as 36th. He's gained 24 spots in there, now sits in 12th. Yellow Hosta is next to him, and then Pat Vellner on the right side. All of these guys trying to punch into the top 10.
But Yellow Hosta in the top 10, and between these two superstars, this rookie could take the heat between them three.
We are underway with that 400-meter run. I mentioned Pat Vellner right now 9th place, so trying to keep himself in the top 10, but he's had an up and down competition so far. 2 27th place finishes, but then 3 6th place finishes.
So Colton Mertens on the outside just won the previous test. This will be a tough one for him.
It's Spencer Panchik in front of Pat Vellner.
Fastest run paces we've seen for athletes who have set the time to beat is right around 1:14 to 1:15.
Bailey Martin is the man in the white shorts behind Vellner as Spencer Panchik leads that group of athletes back into the Coliseum here. And now the 12-bar muscle-ups, and it's Vellner, Panchik, and Bailey Martin, followed by Yellow Hosta. And now here comes Justin Medeiros, Sam Cornway, and Colton Mertens. Moritz Fiebig also on the bar muscle-ups.
Bit more of a conservative pace. The fastest split, 1:19. Sometimes that can happen when you get stuck in a pack. I mean, you'll see it at the Olympics in the mile of who's going to go first, who's going to pace the group. And if you don't really know what your run pace is just by feel, you can lose a couple seconds out there.
That's Spencer Panchik and Bailey Martin, and now here comes everybody else, except for Colton Mertens. Now Mertens is done. The 34 total reps in this opening round. Scoring hat at the top of your screen will have the leader's name on the far left, and the number in the white box next to the man's name will indicate how many repetitions he has completed. The number in the white box next to everybody else will indicate how many reps they are behind.
The time to beat time split, 2:32.
Members of Spencer Panchik's family looking on here. Spencer coming in 13th place overall. And now Bailey Martin's going to be the first man off. Now here comes Pat Vellner, followed by Spencer Panchik, Sam Cornway, and Justin Medeiros. Yellow Hosta and Colton Mertens is off. Bailey Martin, 14th place with 296 total points. His best finish was a 3rd in the inverted medley. That closed out Thursday night, the opening day of competition.
But let's look at Bailey Martin's background. Soccer player, volleyball player, long jump, and rugby. This is an athlete, and this is an athlete who likes to do things that hurt. You don't play these sports just for fun, and that's the type of athlete you need to be to get ahead of the pace.
Well, rubbing is racing, and Yellow Hosta just gave a little shoulder to Bailey Martin to get in front of both Martin and Vellner. And here comes the rookie out of Belgium as he leads the way back into the Alliant Energy Center for round number 2 of the bar muscle-ups and dumbbell snatches. So it's Hosta, Vellner, and Bailey Martin.
Well, Hosta needs to run fast just because his size is not going to be advantageous to the muscle-ups. His cycle rate is just going to be slower because he's longer. His dumbbell snatches are just going to take longer because of the range of motion that he has, so it has to come down to the run.
47 reps, that's the score they're trying to hit before they go back to the dumbbell, the 50-pound, 22-kilo dumbbell for 21 reps. And Vellner and Hosta are now tied Host of Vellner and Martin are all even. Sam Cornway creeping up as well, and now it's the three of them. Vellner, Hosta, and Martin at the same time, followed by Cornway. Justin Medeiros, the former two-time fittest man on earth, or the defending fittest man on earth, is now getting to the dumbbell. In seventh place, Moritz Fiebig is the only man left on the bar muscle-ups. You can see him in the background in the blue shorts. He's now moving to the dumbbell. 8 minutes, 5.63 seconds is the score to beat, and it belongs to Will Morad from the prior heat.
Time split for Morad is 5:17.
A hand in the air for Pat Vellner. He's about a half rep ahead, I think, of Yella Hosta, the man on the right. And Vellner's off first, followed closely by Bailey Martin and Yella Hosta. Here come Cornway and Colton Mertens. And now Spencer Panchik is done. And Justin Medeiros. Vellner out front. Yella Hosta right behind him as the two of them have started to separate from Bailey Martin.
Now this section is actually slightly uphill, that little turn on the backside.
Vellner still in the lead, final 400-meter run. And this is where Hosta made the pass on the last circuit, and there he goes, trying to catch Medeiros again, and Hosta's gonna do it.
And what he's doing, he's riding the downhill. On the backside of this 400, it's downhill into the Coliseum.
Hosta and Vellner back to the pull-up bar at about the same time. And Vellner picking up the chalk. I thought maybe the way he was bending down that the old hamstring went there, but
that if we were running, Sean.
Well,
if we were running.
Now Vellner, I believe, was faster on this portion in the prior round than Hosta.
Vellner was 2 seconds faster than Hosta was on the 12-bar muscle-ups, but they were about dead even on the snatches.
81, that's the mark they're looking to hit before they go to the final set of dumbbell snatches, and Hosta and Vellner are just 3 reps away from that. So this one's gonna come down to the dumbbell. Vellner off first. Hosta right behind him. Vellner right to work. 102, that's what they got to get to close out this test. Bailey Martin is in third, followed by Sam Cornway. Cornway at the bottom of your screen. There goes Colton Mertens at the top. With the fight for first in the middle of your screen. Pat Vellner in the blue shorts and yellow Hosta. Now dead center. 10 reps remain for Pat Vellner. Vellner, judge's hand is in the air. He is almost done. Final reps for Pat Vellner. Death, taxes, and a Pat Vellner comeback. You know it's going to happen. And Pat Vellner just won his heat, followed by Bailey Martin and Yella Hosta. And here comes Colton Mertens. That is huge for Colton.
Big finish for Mertens.
Now, Vellner did win his heat, but right now, 4th place in the test, 8:16.52 seconds, and Justin Medeiros is in 7th place in the heat right now, ahead of Moritz Fiebig. And Medeiros is in. Justin Medeiros will take 7th place in the heat. Only 11 seconds separate him from Spencer Panchik, who finished 6th. Panchik right now 14th in the test. Medeiros 22nd. And we still have 1 heat to go. But Pat Vellner, who's used to digging himself a hole and then coming back in dramatic fashion, he's going to like that result, but we still have 1 heat remaining.
Things getting a little chippy out here on the run course. And a pretty much of a dead heat between Bailey Martin, Pat Vellner, and Yella Holsta, but Holsta makes a pass here. Just squeaks inside. But then when it came down to it, Vellner could cycle the dumbbell a little bit quicker. Holsta makes the pass on the last run. But then once they came in, it was all Patty V. If you haven't heard a Pat Vellner cheer in the Coliseum, you're missing out.
Pat Vellner takes the heat, 8:16.52 seconds. Right now, 4th best time in the test. Bailey Martin, then Yella Holsta, followed by Sam Cornwallier. Men's heat 5 will be later. We're going to hand things over to the women. Test 6, heat number 1, up next for them. Day number 2 of competition for the individuals rolls on here at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, as the women are up next for test number 6. Thanks for being with us, everybody. The whole gang is here. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram and Stacy Tovar, and we got Nikki Brazier and Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor. Your overall leader, no shock here, as Laura Horvath comes in with 399 points after winning the prior test ski bag. It's her second test win of the competition, only has one finish lower than 9th.
She looks really good out there so far, Sean. I really like to see her cross that finish line first in test number 5. Let the momentum carry on, boys.
And Laura Horvath showing some rare emotion as she absolutely blitzed ski bag the prior test, but it is close behind her. Only 62 points separate second from 7th. That's Emma Lawson from Emma Tull. Test number 6 is Helena.
Classic benchmark. 3 rounds for time. Starts with a 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle-ups, 21 alternating dumbbell snatches, 35 pounds.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta. Stacy, what are you watching here?
You gotta run like you stole it. Just go for it. Hold nothing back and burn the boats. Blow them up. Let's go.
To quote Apollo Creed, there is no tomorrow. Let's send it down to the competition floor with Nikki Brazier.
Well, Helen is a classic CrossFit benchmark. Athletes all over the world are used to doing it in their affiliates with running, pull-ups, and kettlebell swings. But down here on the competition floor, the athletes will be on the pull-up bar behind me doing bar muscle-ups, a higher level gymnastics skill. And instead of kettlebell swings, they will be doing single arm dumbbell snatches with a 35-pound dumbbell. And for more on the run, let's send it out to Mike Arsenault.
Thank you very much, Nikki. The last time athletes ran outside the Coliseum was back in 2021. There are 2 tweaks 2 years later. First, the course has practically doubled in size, and there are a couple hundred fans lining the course to cheer these athletes on. And they'll be feeding off that crowd energy, especially the first couple of heats, because the athletes will have to be full throttle the entire way through, with a cut to 30 athletes looming after this test.
Here's your start list. 7 athletes in this opening heat. And Abigail Domit right now sits in 33rd place overall. She's one of the athletes who's trying to get herself on the right side of that cut line.
She's right on the cusp, Sean. And you know what? She has worked on her mindset and her mentality this entire offseason. So she's one I'm looking for just because of what's happening between the ears. She knows what she needs to do to get in the top 30 at the end of this test.
The athlete's not starting in a straight line. Again, it's like a track meet. They had that arced start, so the distance on the run evens out throughout the test.
When you look at Abigail Domit right off the bat, athletic background, gymnastics, cheerleading, track and field. Pretty good combo for this test.
And Domit is the woman who's out front on this first 400-meter run.
She's also one of the taller, though, athletes, though, Chase. So she knows she needs to get a little ahead of the pack there in the run, because the cycle time on the bar muscle-ups, because of those long limbs, are going to be a little bit slower than someone's shorter, and likewise on the dumbbells. So by the time you get from the floor to overhead on someone taller versus someone shorter, she's looking a little bit more time on that dumbbell there.
Saw that play out with the men. As Will Morad, most notably, was able to make a comeback on that portion of the test and take his heat. Manel Anganez and Abigail Domit, followed by Shahab Boudebs and Carolyn Stanley. And now the 12-bar muscle-ups. 102 total scored repetitions in this test. And at the 13 rep mark, that is when they will advance for their first set of 21 dumbbell snatches at the 35-pound, 15-kilo dumbbell.
And the athletes must pass through the dip portion of the bar muscle-up so they cannot glide, and just kind of lock it up at the top of the bar there.
Shahab Boudebs and Carolyn Stanley are in the lead, and Budebs at the top of your screen is going to be the first one in the dumbbell snatch. Had to adjust her grips. And this is a test where really every second matters, and that's going to cost her some time.
And she just got a no rep, so that's going to double it up.
I know that feeling. That exact same thing happened to me last night on the floor.
Abigail Domet, Carolyn Stanley, Manon Anganez have now all passed Shahad Budebs for the lead.
Coming all the way from Dubai, trained out of Massachusetts there for a little while. Her coach just happened to be the third place finisher and the third fittest in the 35 to 39 division.
Who is second?
Stacey Tobin. Someone I may know.
Manon Anganez is going to be the first woman back to the 400-meter run, followed by Stanley and Domet. First of 5 heats for the women here.
It's the best feeling though, 3 rounds for time. It's just so great knowing that after that second round, I just have 1 more round to go.
You did the classic version of Helen earlier this week, and we talked during the men, the challenge of the second of 3 runs.
You just have to keep the same pace, which is fast, which is unbroken, which is really hard. And that's when the mentality kind of comes in, you know, it's like, okay, just get through this second round, just knowing you have just 1 more round left. Kind of eases things a little bit, but there is, you know, burn the boats. There is no speed other than just go.
Manon Anganez is your leader, and this might not be the only international competition that she competes in the next year. She's a Belgian champion in weightlifting at the 69 kilo class, and she's trying to make the Olympics in 2024. This is her first appearance here at the CrossFit Games. Anganez, Domet, and Stanley. Your top 3 right now. Now into round 2 of the bar muscle-ups. 12 reps they have to complete. At the 47 rep mark, they'll start their second round of the 21 dumbbell snatches. Domet in the middle now with 5 reps remaining. She and Stanley trading the lead here. Anganez just about a rep behind. Shahad Budebs, left side of your screen, is in 4th. Followed by Emily DeRoy. And Abigail Domet in the lead. Here's Carolyn Stanley getting to work on round number 2, and now Manon Anganez.
Said Abigail's cycle speed a bit slower than Anganez and Stanley. And it looked like her grip was getting a little fatigued on those last 12 bar muscle ups.
The 68 rep mark is what they're looking to hit.
I don't know why their grips are tired.
Yeah.
I mean,
what could they have done the last 5 tests?
And it's going to be Manon Anganez who will be the first woman again onto the run, followed by Carolyn Stanley. So Abigail Domet loses 2 spots on that second round of dumbbell snatches. It's an 11-minute time cap here. Shouldn't be a problem for any of these athletes. As Anganez looks over her left shoulder and sees Carolyn Stanley, now Abigail Domet rounding the corner. Anganez in 35th place overall. Again, we cut down to 30 athletes after this. She has 130 points. She needs a strong result here to leapfrog 5 other athletes and get herself inside the cut line.
and it's coming around this final curve here where we see the athletes speeding up a little bit. It's all downhill at this point and into the Coliseum.
Abigail Doman has managed to catch up and now pass Carolyn Stanley and moving to second place behind Manon Anganez.
And she needs to do this. Her transition to the pull-up bar once she gets into the Coliseum has been very fast. But then again, her cycle time on the snatches slows her down a little bit. So she just needs to remember that this is the third and final round. Transition quickly to the bar, no time for chalk, jump up, you look great, and just rip and grip on that dumbbell snatch. 35 pounds for these individual women is nothing they haven't seen before.
No, but it can get tough depending on that grip. And the other thing too is you think about classic Helen. Can you hang on to those last 12 pull-ups? They just happen to be bar muscle-ups right here in the middle.
True.
Abigail Doman, the first woman to get to work on her final set of 12 bar muscle-ups, 81 reps. She's only 9 away from that. Anganez and Stanley right behind her. They're the only 3 women right now on their final set of bar muscle-ups. 3 minutes left before we hit the time cap. Emily DeRoy working her way back to the pull-up bar as Doman, Anganez, and Stanley fight for first place in this first of 5 heats in test number 6, the halfway point of the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. And now Doman onto the dumbbell, and here comes Stanley and Manon Anganez. Now Anganez has been the fastest on this portion. $102, that's the mark they got to hit to close this thing out. And it's Doman and Stanley neck and neck. Anganez about 3 reps behind, and now Stanley has taken the lead. 6 reps to go for her. The final rep, this might come down to a foot race, and it's going to be Carolyn Stanley who takes off first. Abigail Doman is going to be second, and Manon Anganez will finish third. 9:07.14 seconds for Carolyn Stanley. That leaves Shahad Boudebs as the leader on the floor right now. Boudebs out of the United Arab Emirates. This is her 3rd career appearance at the CrossFit Games, 2nd as an individual. In 2021, she was here on the team. They finished 35th. Also here in 2019. And she is across. And Emily DeRoy is in. That's Victoria Campos. And now Michelle Basnet. At the top of your screen onto her final 21 dumbbell snatches. Campos is going to come across. Leaves Michelle Basnet out there on the floor. Basnet, 37th place overall. So she had a lot of ground to make up to get inside the cut line. So this could be it for Basnet. Less than 20 seconds before we hit the time cap, and Basnet's going to get inside that. That's her final rep. And heat number 1 is in the books. 9:07.14 seconds for Carolyn Stanley is your top time with 4 heats remaining. She, Abigail Doman, and Manon Anganez. Stacy had a great battle for the top spot from the start.
They did. It was a battle back and forth, but I tell you what, Abigail used that back half of the run, that downhill slope, to kind of catch up with the pack. Her transition over to the bar was a lot faster. In the end, though, there she goes, running away with it.
Carolyn Stanley does some great work on the dumbbell. 9:07.14 seconds, edging Abigail Doman out by 2 seconds. And it's Manon Anganez who rounds out the top 3, followed by Shahad Boudebs. E2 coming up next. We'll be joined in the booth by Brooke Wells. Stay with us, everybody. Closing things out in day number 2 inside the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, as women's test number 6, the halfway point of the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. Brooke Wells is an 8-time CrossFit Games athlete. She has competed here at the CrossFit Games, finished 5th in 2020, has won 3 events in her career, and she's been nice enough to join us here in the booth. I know this is a little bit of a different experience for you as a fan, but you are here watching your sister. What has that experience been like for you, cheering her on?
It's obviously been really different being like a spectator, not being on the competition floor, but I'm just kind of like living through her, trying to help her as much as I can, and just supporting her. I've watched her work so hard all season, so getting to see her show that has been a really cool experience.
Do you get to train with her every single day?
So, like, leading into the season, yes, and like semifinals. I kind of took a little bit of a break after semis, like rehabbing some injuries, but yes, we do train together every single day on like a normal daily basis.
That's so cool. What an awesome experience.
Yes.
Test number 6 is Helena, and it's a spin on a CrossFit Classic, Stacy.
It is. Being the 20th anniversary of our classic benchmark, Helen, we have Helena. 3 rounds for time, 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle ups, 21 dumbbell snatches, 35-pound dumbbell.
8 women will be on the floor, including Brooke's sister, Sydney. Now, Sydney right now, Brooke comes in 27th place overall on the right side of the cut line. What advice, if any, did you give her coming into this test?
She likes to kind of like send it, I feel like, in most workouts. So I'm kind of like, be a little bit conservative in the beginning, and then whatever you have at the end, that's when you really give it your all and whatever you have left. So I'm excited to watch her. She's an incredible runner, and I think this will be a really good workout for her.
Heat 2 of 5 is underway. Carolyn Stanley has your top time at 9 minutes, 7.14 seconds. And we start with that 400-meter run. You've been in this environment in the Coliseum. What kind of effect does the crowd here sometimes have on you as far as your plan is concerned in a workout?
Oh, the community is everything. I feel like when you are like hurting really bad, you kind of look up, everyone's cheering for you, and it gives you like a big extra push that you need.
It is the best feeling coming into the Coliseum or hearing your name. We talked about that earlier today. You know, you hear Brooke Wells in the lead, that momentum, and then the roar of the crowd just like gives you that extra boost you need when you're in so much physical pain.
Yeah. It's very helpful when you need it.
Well, I know obviously semifinals didn't go the way you wanted, but what do you take out of that experience that you can build on now for next season?
I definitely learned that there's like never any points to lose, so like just get points wherever you can. And I mean, my fire is like lit. I'm so ready to get back. That's the main thing, is just kind of fueling the fire this weekend.
The first 400-meter run is now done, and it's Sydney Wells, who's right behind Ella Rounier. Shelby Neal's up there as well. Matilda Garnes, Sarah Kaya, and Kelly Baker. So now 12 bar muscle ups, 102 total scored repetitions in this test, 34 reps per round.
Now the athletes do have to pass through that dip portion of the bar muscle up. I did see Matilda Garnes there in the middle of your screen, lane 5, get a no rep for not passing through the dip. Now, bar muscle ups and any gymnastics pulling is her jam, so she was just, you know, ready to get going there, but slowing things down with that dip.
Sarah Kaya, Kelly Baker, now Sydney Wells and Ella Rounier are onto the dumbbell. 35 pounds, 15 kilos, 21 snatches here at the 34 rep mark. They will be done with round number 1. How would you attack this?
Man, this workout honestly looks brutal, but it is very obvious you need to try to go unbroken on the bar muscle ups and the kettlebell, the dumbbell. I would push the run, but not too much to where you're too tired. I would try to make sure I had enough energy in the end and really push the last run.
Sarah Kaya, right side of your screen. She's trying to hold off Kelly Baker and Ella Rounier. Rounier on the left side of your screen. And Kaya is going to be the first woman back to the 400-meter run. Now Ella Rounier, followed by Fee Sagafi, Shelby Neal, Kelly Baker, Alexi Williams, and then Sydney Wells just Has 2 people on the way out.
That's what you expect from a college all-star, right? 4 years running track at the University of Missouri there.
Yeah, for sure. That running is one thing you don't have to worry about with her.
And that's what we know, Brooke, is, you know, you play to your strengths, really, in every workout. So if running is your thing, that's where you make up the most ground, knowing you have a little extra time. And you talked about the length of athletes, too. Your sister's a little bit taller. Yeah. How tall are you?
5'6".
That's pretty tall in our sport here. So, yeah, she might be a little bit slower on the bar muscle-ups and picking the dumbbell on and off the floor, but if she's got to make up ground and she's a strong runner, that's where she's got to do it. So we expect her to kind of make her way back up towards the pack.
Well, Sydney Wells right now has moved into 3rd place in this run behind Sarah Kaya and Ella Wunye. And Wunye is looking like she's going to pass Sarah Kaya, as Sydney Wells has made up a ton of ground here.
And remember, this back half of the 400 is the downhill portion of the run. So the first 2 are a slight uphill. It's not much, but these athletes' legs are tired and they're going to feel every impact, every step as they run up and down that hill.
Sarah Kaya leads the way. Wunye and Wells right behind her. Kaya making her 2nd career appearance at the CrossFit Games. She was here last year. She finished 29th overall.
So, Brooke, I hear your mom CrossFit's out of a local gym and your dad CrossFit's out of his garage.
Yes.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a family affair for sure. It's really cool. My dad actually got me started in CrossFit, so all credit to him. And then my mom kind of started to, after like my first 2 CrossFit Games, she's like, I want to see what you do. So she started, and all of us are hooked.
Oh, that's so great.
There is Sydney Wells, who right now is in a tie for 3rd place with Shelby Nia. Sarah Kaya and Ella Wunye, pardon me, are your top 2. Kaya is on her final rep, and now she's back to the dumbbell for 21 more reps. So at the 68 rep mark, she will be done. Top of your screen is Ella Wunye. And now Sydney Wells is off along with Shelby Neal and Fisa Gaffi. Kelly Baker, bottom of your screen, in the long black pants, is on to her 2nd set of 21 dumbbell snatches. Kaya on the right in lane 8, she's your leader. On the left, you got Ella Wunye, Shelby Neal, and Sydney Wells. Sydney just got hit with a no rep. I think you have to repeat that on another one.
And so here Kaya down here, lane 8.
She's done. Back out on the run here. Now Shelby Neal has moved into 2nd. And Ella Wunye into 3rd. Fisa Gaffi's done, Kelly Baker's done. And now Sydney Wells just closing out her final rep. And this is where Wells made up a ton of ground on the last 400 meter. And she's off at a sprint.
I'm so jealous of her running form.
Yeah.
Like, it is just beautiful looking at her just prance like a little deer out there, you know?
I always know she's coming for me on a running workout. She just never looks tired when she runs.
But talk about a great training partner to have.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that if I had that.
Yeah.
And I do, you know, of course, but
yeah,
to have your own sister, nonetheless.
Yeah, but it gets very competitive.
Sydney has already reeled in Fisa Gaffi. And she's trying to track down Ella Wunye in 3rd. As the field is spread out here in the 2nd heat, the top time is 9:07.14 seconds from Carolyn Stanley in heat number 1.
See here, Kaya just needs to hang on to this run. She's done well on the bar muscle up. She doesn't look fatigued at all. Her transition is very fast and very smooth, and we know what she can do on that dumbbell. So if she can just hold the pace here. She's looking at the time to beat.
Here comes Sarah Kaya, and now Shelby Neal. And Sydney Wells passes up Ella Wunye on that run. Sarah Kaya, right side of your screen, has got to get to the 81 rep mark before she gets to move back to the dumbbell.
And Shelby Neal down there in lane 2, she is in 29th place, so she cannot afford to lose any points knowing that that cut takes place after this test. We go down from 40 individual women to 30. And she knows that. She can hear the crowd, she can hear the announcers there on the floor.
Sarah Kai is the first woman to the dumbbell. Bottom of your screen, there's the cut line. Ella Mounier, who's doing well here in this heat, is only 1 point back of Kelly Baker. They are both in this heat.
And so here Kaya is 2 points out from that cut. She's 32 right now. We dropped to 30.
And Sydney Wells is the third woman to the dumbbell here. That's good for her. And now Kelly Baker in those long black pants has started her dumbbell snatches. 102 total reps, and Sarah Kaya only has now one more. And Sarah Kaya is going to take the heat, and she will have a new top time at 8:55.34 seconds. There goes Shelby Neal. That's good for her. She looks to stay alive. And Kelly Baker making up some ground. Her judge's hand is in the air. She only has a couple reps left. So Baker putting on a charge here in the back half of the test, and she will get across, and here comes Sydney Wells. Bisa Gaffi is in. 90 seconds before we hit the time count. Ella Mounier is in. Now Alexia Williams has finished up, and that leaves Matilda Garnes as the last woman out on the floor, and she is done. So everybody getting well inside that 11-minute time cap, but it's Sarah Kaya with the new top time at 8:55.34 seconds.
She executed that perfectly. It started out with our girl, Sydney. Came out blazing, but in the end, Sahir Kaha had that cycle time just a little bit faster, a little bit shorter athlete, ran hard, went right to the bar muscle up bar, got right to work, quick cycle time on the dumbbell snatch, and came out with the time to beat now, 8:55.
8:55.34 seconds from Sarah Kaya, your top time. Shelby Neal finishes in second. That's going to be good enough for the second best time, and it's Kelly Baker in third. Brooks, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And best of luck moving forward. Looking forward to seeing you back on the competition floor.
Thank you for having me, and thank you. I plan to be back here next year.
I have no doubt that will happen.
Me either.
2 heats down. 3 remain here for the women in Test 6. 3 heats remain in test number 6 for the women. On day number 2 of competition at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games, we're closing things out inside the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center, and we are glad you are with us, everybody. I'm Sean Whitland, alongside the second fittest woman in the 35 to 39-year-old division, Stacy Tovar, and Nikki Grazer is down on the competition floor. Test number 6 might look familiar to some people. We got to amp it up a little bit here for these Games athletes.
Yeah, why not? 20th anniversary of our classic benchmark workout, Helen. So Helen, 3 rounds for time. 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle ups, 21 dumbbell snatches, 35-pound dumbbell in hand.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta. What do you got?
Run like you stole it. Go out there and get it. Burn the boats.
There is no retreat here. Adrian Bosman, competition director, told us you got to have the guts to race. 8 women will be on the competition floor for this 3rd heat. And in lanes 7 and 8, Bailey Rail and Emma Carey. Right now safe as far as the cut is concerned, but trying to move themselves closer to a spot inside the top 20.
Bailey Rail, 2 top 10 finishes. Emma Carey started the week with that horrible bike, ride, stumble, crash, whatever you want to call it, and 1 top 10 finish. But has not let that stop her. She has bounced back, shown us that she's just here to do it, no matter what it takes.
It's Paige Semenza out front of Emma Carey, followed by Bailey Rail was in 3rd, but Lisa Fuliano has now moved in front of her. First 400-meter run here. Paige Semenza, 17th place overall. Very safe as far as the cut is concerned.
And much like regular Helen, benchmark Helen, Sean, we know it's just a pace. It's an uncomfortable pace. It's an unbroken, fast pace. And it all starts with that run. And it's about maintaining that high heart rate throughout.
Now, Ellie Turner is in this heat. And she is way behind. Now, she, after the prior test, looked like she might be having some sort of pain issue, as Paige Semenza, Elisa Fuliano, and Emma Carey are the first 3 women to the bar muscle ups. So we'll keep our eye out for Ellie Turner, and there she is.
I also noticed she had some tape on her low back. I didn't get a good angle there, but I'm wondering if she's not having maybe a low back that's interacting with her, like her hip or...
Well, I talked to Adrian Conway earlier. He's been talking to athletes in the warm-up area. He said he watched Ellie warm up for the prior test, the ski bag, and that she was just using a 25-pound plate and was really laboring with it. So we keep an eye on Ellie Turner. But it is Emma Carey and Elisa Fuliano right now who are in the lead. And here comes Paige Semenza, followed by Bailey Rail.
Emma Carey's looking for another great finish here. She's kind of been all over the board ever since that bike falter at the earlier start of this weekend, but 16th in the sand ski bag, so I expect a better finish from her this test.
Emma Carey, who was hoping to make an appearance here at the CrossFit Games as an individual last year, but her season got derailed by a back injury. She made her first appearance as an individual in 2021. She finished 16th overall. She's a former teenage champion, finishing 1st in the 14 to 15-year-old division in 2019. So Emma Carey and Elisa Fuliano back out onto the run.
I like the pace she's setting here. She's not holding back. I like to see that coming from her.
Well, Emma Carey had an aggressive pace to start earlier in the day with Alpaca and then ran into a wall on her 2nd round of legless road climbs. Right now in front here in heat 3 of test number 6 for the women, the halfway point for them here at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games as we cut down to 30 athletes after the 2nd day of competition.
You see a nice big arm swing there. You're also seeing a relaxed grip. We're about to approach 12 bar muscle-ups. We've all done Helen before. At least I hope so. If you've been around the CrossFit world for a little while, your grip gets hairy, you know, like reps 9, 10, 11, 12, those last 4 or 5 reps, you feel it. So a nice relaxed grip when you're running will set you up for some success there on the ball.
There's Paige Semenza now in 3rd place, as Emma Carey will be the first woman back to start round number 2 of her bar muscle-ups.
And you'll notice she's gonna actually pass Ellie Turner here as she's making her way back into the stadium, and Ellie making her way back out to start round 3.
Well, Ellie Turner's in 19th place overall with 224 total points. Right now, very safe as far as the cut is concerned. So she has some insurance, but she definitely wants to avoid a last place finish, but that looks like that might be inevitable at this point. But Emma Carey is your leader. 5 reps, now 4 reps to go at the 47 mark. She will move back to the dumbbell for those 21 snatches at 35 pounds.
And Elisa Fuliano only a few reps behind. Emma can feel that pressure, and that's helping her keep pushing that pace.
Carey is the first woman to her dumbbell snatches. And now Elisa Fuliano, on the left side of your screen, is second. .855.34 seconds is the top time for Sarah Kaya from the prior heat.
And you'll see all these athletes muscle snatching this dumbbell, 35 pounds, not a problem. However, you would be able to power snatch this if you would like, but it's just so much faster to cycle just by kind of pulling that off the floor and using your powerful hips to lock it out over top.
Emma Carey is way out in front here in heat number 3. Elisa Fuliano will be the second woman out on the run. Now Ellie Turner is just making her way back into the stadium here as you see Emma Carey opening up a lead here on this 3rd and final 400-meter run.
And it's all downhill on this back 400. See her looking over her shoulder. She's feeling the heat, but she's not slowing down.
Emma Carey's best finish so far in this competition was in test number 2, the pig chipper. She took 4th place in that test, but after that she took a 17th, a 39th, and then a 16th in ski bag. So looking to get back on track here.
And the time to beat in previous heats is 8:55, 9:07 after that.
The seconds will matter in this test, and we saw that with the men where 11 seconds was the difference between about 10 or 12 spots on the leaderboard.
It comes down to this 3rd and final round. I mean, keep the transitions fast. Pick up the pace, actually, if you can. Get right on that bar.
Emma Carey is now back to the bar muscle-ups, and she is all by herself. When she gets to the 81 rep mark, she'll head to the dumbbell for the final time. Elisa Fuliano is now back inside the Alliant Energy Center.
And Emma knows there's still 2 more heats after this left to go.
Two more reps for Emma Carey. And now back to the dumbbell for the final time. She's got a minute to beat Sarah Kaya's time.
No problem. Both heads of the dumbbell need to touch the floor, showing control and lockout at the top. Cycle time down is just quick flash across the face, switching hands. It's the fastest you can. These are right here is the perfect example of moving the dumbbell as quickly as you possibly can.
Dumbbell has to go from the ground to directly overhead. Your arm has to be locked out for the rep to count, and Emma Carey's been perfect so far. Final 2 reps for her, and Emma Carey's going to set your new top time as she gets herself across the finish line with plenty of time to spare. Emma Carey, your new top mark at 8:38.61 seconds. Elisa Fuliano is now your leader on the floor. She's towards the bottom of your screen in the dark shorts, and now she is done.
To put this in perspective, Sean, about a 2-minute and 15-second pace per round.
And there goes Paige Semenza. And now Bailey Rail is in. Bailey Rail, 22nd place overall. Looking to get some more breathing room as far as the cut line is concerned. Rebecca Fittest also came across the finish line at 9:17.19 seconds. Right now, that's 10th place in the test for Fittest. And it's only a 3-second difference between Bailey Rail and her there. So that was a close race as Christine Kohlenbrander is across, and Amanda Barnhart is now done. Ellie Turner is the only woman left out there, and she has a minute to go. And as you mentioned, Stacy, that back is heavily taped.
Yeah, she also looks like she might be limping on that right side a little bit, so unfortunate. The crowd getting behind her. It's the best feeling ever. You can see she's fighting back tears as she makes her way back to the bar. Best community around. She's in some pain. She also knows, you know, we cut tonight to 30 athletes.
And that's Ellie Turner's family on the right. She takes a spill on that crash pad, and you can tell that Ellie Turner is just not her usual self, and we hope that she is okay and admire the gutsy effort that she just put forth here. This heat belongs to Emma Carey. 8:38.61 seconds set the top time. Elisa Fuliano is going to finish in second. Right now, that time good enough for third place in the test. And it's Paige Semenza, followed by Rail and Fittest rounding out the top 5. Heat 4 coming up next. 2 heats remain here for the women as we close out the second day of competition at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. We're going to be inside and outside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center for test number 6. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Stacy Tovar. We got Nikki Brazier down on the competition floor. Test number 6 is Helena. It probably looks familiar.
3 rounds for time. 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle ups, 21 dumbbell snatches, 35-pound dumbbell.
The recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta.
Run like you stole it. Get out of here. Burn the boats. Blow them up.
There is only one speed, and that is full speed for this test. Here are the 8 women who will be on the competition floor. One of them in lane number 4 is Jamie Simmons. She sits in 9th place overall. And there's Emily Rolfe, who's trying to get into the top 10, 11th place with 280 total points.
Talk about Emily Rolfe. Engine-based workouts, her jam. She's licking her chops over this thing.
And then Jamie Simmons, mentioned her down in lane 4 right next to Emily Rolfe, 9th place overall.
Solid runner, great at gymnastics movements like bar muscle ups.
Making her first individual appearance here at the CrossFit Games since 2020. Heat 4 is underway. We only have 1 heat remaining after this. The top time belongs to Emma Carey. You just saw that in heat number 3. 8 minutes, 38.61 seconds. It's Olivia Kerstetter out front along with Emily Rolfe. Bethany Flores is there. Here comes Danielle Brandon on the inside. Rolfe, Brandon, and Kerstetter, your top 3. And Jamie Simmons working her way towards the front, passing both Bethany Flores and Olivia Kerstetter. Flores hiding right behind Emily Rolfe there. Rolfe in the lead. Simmons in second, as this group is all on the same pace, heading back into the Coliseum for their 12-bar muscle ups.
And much like classic benchmark Helen, it's an uncomfortable pace right out of the get-go.
Catherine Davis' daughter, Bethany Flores, Jamie Simmons, and Emily Rolfe looking to get to the pull-up bar at the same time, and they do. And now 12 bar muscle-ups, 34 total reps in each round. Scoring hat on the top of your screen. Keep an eye on that. The leader's name in the heat will be on the far left side. The number in the white box will indicate how many repetitions that athlete has completed. The number in the white box next to everyone else's name will indicate how many repetitions they trail. Jamie Simmons is now through 12 and 13. She's done. She'll be the first woman to the dumbbell. 35 pounds, about 15 kilos there. 21 snatches.
I like her sense of urgency, Jamie Simmons there in lane number 4. I haven't seen many athletes get off the pull-up bar after doing their 12-bar muscle-ups and kind of trot to the dumbbell, and she did. She went there, it was like just pulled it off the floor and started working. That's the pace you need to make a move, and she's sitting right there in 9th. I think she wants more than just 9th.
Well, Simmons is done, and she'll head back out on the run. Now Paige Powers will be second, followed by Bethany Flores, Danielle Brandon, Karen Freyova, and Catherine David's daughter. And Emily Rolfe is towards the back here now, but immediately passes Kerstetter on her way out of the building.
She's a little bit of a taller athlete, so her cycle time on the bar and on the dumbbell may be just slightly slower. We talked about in earlier heats, you know, you do have to play to your strengths. So if you're a good runner, that's where you got to make up the ground. But you also, you got to transition fast, and you have to just get right to work on the dumbbell.
This is Jamie Simmons' 5th individual appearance at the CrossFit Games. She's never finished lower than 12th, and has stood on the podium before in 2019. She finished in third. She's been here on a team. That was back in 2016. She was on the podium with CrossFit Yas in that competition.
Just had a little bit of experience underneath the lights then, Sean.
Paige Powers and Bethany Flores are the next two, followed by Danielle Brandon and Emily Rolfe. Saw former two-time champ Catherine Davis-Daughter in that pack, as well as Simmons working her way back into the building for round number 2 of the 12-bar muscle-ups.
Nice smooth transition right up on that pull-up bar. Athletes must pass through the dip position. They cannot just extend up and over the bar in a complete locked out position.
Simmons having 5 reps to go here on the second set. 47 rep mark will indicate when she's done with this portion of this round. Bethany Flores is fighting with Paige Powers for second. Danielle Brandon is also in that battle. Now Catherine Davis-Daughter in the long black pants right side of your screen has moved into 5th. Simmons gets right to work on the dumbbell.
There's that trot again. She turned the straps, turned her grips around, and got right to work.
Bethany Flores will be the second woman to the dumbbell, followed by Paige Powers. Now Danielle Brandon is in 4th. Here comes Catherine Davis-Daughter along with Karine Freyova in the blue on the right side of your screen. Dumbbell has to go from the ground directly overhead in the lockout position for that repetition to count, and you have to alternate arms. Jamie Simmons is now done with 1 more rep. She's on the left side. She'll take off on her third and final 400-meter run. And she is way out in front here.
She got in the door after a 400-meter run at about 4:05. She's leaving about 90 seconds later. She's moving fast.
Now Bethany Flores and Paige Powers are done at the same time, like we saw in round number 1. Danielle Brandon stays in 4th. And now Karine Freyova and Catherine Davis-Daughter are done, and Emily Rolfe has finished as well. Leaves Olivia Kerstetter as the only woman on the dumbbell snatches. Jamie Simmons continues to put a lot of real estate between her and the women chasing her here in this 4th of 5 heats. And this isn't even close right now for Jamie Simmons, but we still have a heat to go. But Simmons cannot let off the gas here.
Looking strong. Using that back 400, which has a slight downhill slope to her advantage.
For the final time, Jamie Simmons works her way inside the Coliseum for 33 final reps. 12 on the pull-up bar and the bar muscle-ups, and then 21 on the dumbbell. And she is running like she stole it.
She sure is. That right there was about a 90-second 400-meter run.
Here comes Bethany Flores as she's put a little bit of distance between herself and Paige Powers, and it's Danielle Brandon who will be in 4th place to start the third and final round. Emily Rolfe is back in.
Just like classic benchmark, it's those last few reps on the pull-up bar that just sting that much more.
Simmons now for 21 reps on the dumbbell, 8:38.61. That's your top time from Emma Carey, and Jamie Simmons looking to beat that here. She's got to get to the 102 rep mark, so 12 remaining here for her. Simmons now with 6 left.
Picking up speed, you can see that cycle time just picking up a little bit more with each and every rep.
Final rep for Jamie Simmons, and Jamie Simmons will set the new time to beat with 1 heat remaining. 8:27.12 seconds for Simmons, and now the fight for second in the heat between Bethany Flores and Paige Powers. Flores right now is getting the best of that, and she is done. Flores is in. She'll take second place in the heat. That time right now, good enough for third place in the test as Paige Powers has made it across the finish line. Danielle Brandon is in. Colleen Freyova will be the next woman across, followed by Emily Rolfe. With Catherine Davidsdottir and Olivia Kerstetter, the last two women on the floors. The former two-time fittest woman on earth is in. And now Olivia Kerstetter, the youngest athlete in the competition at just 17 years old, has to close out her test with 21 dumbbell snatches. Kerstetter, a former two-time teenage champion, first in the 14 to 15-year-old division in 2021, first in the 16 to 17-year-old division in 2022, and this is her individual debut here at the CrossFit Games.
The future is bright.
And Olivia Kerstetter is done, and she is in. But it's Jamie Simmons who takes the heat and now has the best time we've seen so far at 8 minutes 27.12 seconds. And Stacy, this one was not even close.
She ran away with it, literally burned the boats.
Simmons 8:27.12, followed by Flores, and then Paige Powers rounds out the top three, followed by Danielle Brandon and Karine Freyova. Final heat up next. Thank you, Dave. Wrapping up competition for the individuals here inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. We are at the halfway point of the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram and Stacy Tovar. We got Nikki Brazier and Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor. You heard Tommy Marquez mention that we're going to emulate this test in the gym. It ain't going to look anything like these women are about to make it look. Here are your overall standings coming in. It's Laura Harbaugh hanging on to a 10-point lead over Emma Lawson, and it's Alex Gazan only up 7 points on former overall leader Alexis Raptis. Test number 6 looks familiar to a lot of CrossFit enthusiasts, but we got to amp it up here for these athletes.
3 rounds for time, 400-meter run, 12 bar muscle-ups, 21 dumbbell snatches, 35-pound dumbbell.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta. There is only one speed here.
Run like you stole it. Get out of here and burn the boats. Blow them up.
Let's send it down to Nikki Brazier on the competition floor.
Well, you guys said it. Helen is a benchmark workout that affiliates all over the world know how to do with running, pull-ups, and kettlebell swings. But down here on the competition floor for Helena, the athletes will be doing bar muscle-ups on that rig behind me, a higher-level gymnastics skill, and they will be doing single-arm dumbbell snatches instead of those kettlebell swings. For more on the run, let's send it out to Mike Arsenault.
When you hear a 400-meter run, you probably think of one lap around a running track. This course athletes will be much more difficult. I'm staying fairly significant line these athletes will have to navigate. On the other side of this high school cross team from Rochester, Minnesota, there's a corresponding decline and then sharp turns on this course as well. Nevertheless, the athletes, regardless of the difficulty, will have to push the pace because in the immortal words of Sheryl Crow, the first cut is the deepest.
Well played, Mr. Arsenault. Here are your 8 women in this 5th and final heat. Your overall leader, Laura Horvath, will be right in the middle of the floor. This is the first time she's worn the leader's jersey since her rookie year in 2018. From an emerging star to the first star, Annie Thorisdottir, a former 2-time champion, the only woman to compete at the CrossFit Games in 3 different decades, and she is within striking distance of a podium spot here.
And Sean, Adrian Conway was talking about the question from Adrian Bosman, did I cook these athletes too much? Well, I hope you like your athletes well done, because they are going to be cooked thoroughly after this test.
That's Gabby McGowan, who was out front early on that first 400-meter run. She's followed by Emma Tull and Alice Gazan. Laura Horvath there in the leader's jersey, working her way up towards the front on the outside. G-Shock is giving you the chance to win a new G-Shock watch, a CrossFit Level 1 seminar, and more than $400 in CrossFit swag. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Terms and conditions apply.
The pace right out of the gate is so uncomfortable. It is fast. It is unbroken. It is just all out.
But that is the right pace, an uncomfortable pace. If you feel like you're going too fast, you have chosen the right pace for this test.
Gabby McGowan leads the way back into the Coliseum here. And now the women will complete 12 bar muscle-ups. They have to go from a hang to a supported position, and they have to pass through a dip at the top. Keep an eye on the scoring hat on the top of your screen. The leader in the heat will be on the far left side, and the number of repetitions that athlete has completed will be in the white box. The number in the white box next to the athletes behind the leader will indicate the number of reps by which they trail the person in first place. There are 102 total scored repetitions in this test, 34 per round. So at the 13 rep mark, that's when they will move on to the dumbbell, the 35-pound dumbbell for the 21 snatches. And Laura Horvath is there first, followed closely by the entire field.
The time to beat set by Jamie Simmons in the previous heat of 8:27. Her split time after the first round is 2:35.
34 is the number that Laura Horvath is looking to hit to get back out on the course for round number 2 in that second 400-meter run. Ariel Lowen and Alex Gazan are fighting with Alexis Raptis. If you take a look at Gabby McGowan, Lowen is inside of her, but there's Laura Horvath in the leader's jersey, trying to hold off Emma Lawson, who's to her left. She's in the all blue now. Lawson just putting down the dumbbell. Horvath off first, followed closely by Ariel Lowen, Emma Lawson, Alice Gazan, and Annie Thorisdottir.
Now, I think Ariel Lowen is a sleeper pick for this test. She's got a gymnastics background for about 14 years, but then she did track and field, her event being the 400. She's built for this test, but Laura Horvath, what she has done all day, coming off what I would consider a signature test win right before this.
And Laura Horvath has proved to us just in these last few rounds that she can run. She's not been the best runner on a machine, but put her on some cement, she's taken off.
Horvath Lowen and Emma Lawson. You can text Jocko to 24672 to get 30% off your order at jockofuel.com. One-time use only, good through August 9th, 2023. Get some. Laura Horvath looking to get more points here. 100 points goes to the winner of a test, 97 to second place, and then that total decreases as you work your way down the results. And she has a 10-point lead as Laura Horvath over Emma Lawson, who is in third place on this run.
Now Laura Horvath had the fastest split on the bar muscle-ups of all the athletes in this heat. The only one to break 30 seconds.
Horvath, Lawson, and Lowen to the pull-up bar at essentially the same time. Horvath got about 1 rep in before Lawson and Lowen started. 47 is the number they got to hit to get back to that 35-pound dumbbell.
And a classic CrossFit triplet, right? 3 movements, fast, uncomfortable. That's where we see the magic happen. We have a monostructural movement, a run. We have the gymnastics with the pole and the bar muscle up. And then we finally have that weightlifting element with that kettlebell, or excuse me, dumbbell.
Lowen and Lawson done at the same time and out of the dumbbell. And again, it's Horvath with 1 rep before Lawson and Lowen get started. Lawson just got hit with a no rep. The dumbbell has to hit the ground, go from the ground directly to overhead, and your arm has to be fully extended for that rep to count, and you have to alternate arms with each repetition.
And that's the challenge here with that dumbbell. For these athletes, 35 is not heavy, so they all have to move quick.
And both heads of that dumbbell, you talk about precision and accuracy. It's easy for just one head to kind of bobble and hit. Both sides of that dumbbell head need to touch the floor.
Ariel Lowen is now in the lead. It looks like, according to the scoring hat, she looks to be the first woman back to the run for the final time. Right side of your screen. And now a no rep for Horvath, and that's going to open the door for Lowen and Lawson.
Ariel yelling at the crowd on her way out. Come on, let's go.
Horvath now is in third with Alex Gazan behind her, and Alexis Raptis is out on the run. Annie Thorsdottir and Emma Tall getting started as well. These are your leaders here in this final heat. Time to beat is 8 minutes, 27.12 seconds.
And you're seeing shaking out of the arms. You're seeing relaxed grip.
There's a little uphill on the front part of this 400 meter. But on the backside, you do have that downhill taking them into the Coliseum.
Ariel Lowen making her 3rd appearance here at the CrossFit Games, her 3rd straight appearance. She gave birth in 2019, took 2 years off, and then qualified for the CrossFit Games in 2021, and she finished 14th. Last year, she was 11th.
Emma Lawson closing the gap behind her. And our leader.
Emma Lawson, another former teenage competitor who finished first in the 16 to 17-year-old division in 2021. Last year, she made her individual debut and finished in 6th place overall and was the overall leader at one point. Now Lawson starting to close the gap here on Lowen. Laura Horvath in 3rd.
Now what's big for Lowen is nobody's really separating themselves on the bar, but Lowen has the 2 fastest splits of any athlete on the dumbbell.
Here come Lawson and Lowen. Now Raptis has pulled even with Laura Horvath. Raptis in the all blue, now just starting her bar muscle ups. The 12 reps here, got to get to the 81 rep mark to move back to the dumbbell for the final time.
If Lowen on the right side of your screen can stay within a rep of Lawson, center lane all blue, she has a shot to pass her on the last 21 reps.
Lowen now with 1 rep remaining, and she will be the first woman to the dumbbell, followed closely by Alexis Raptis and Emma Lawson. So Raptis gaining ground here as Laura Horvath is now struggling on the pull-up bar. Alex Gazan in the black top and blue shorts in the middle has passed Horvath. So Laura Horvath is running into some trouble here. She now gets to the dumbbell. She only had a 10-point cushion on Emma Lawson here. Lowen is on the right, and she has a frantic pace going here. She's got to get to 102 reps. Hand in the air for her and Raptis as it come down to a race to the finish. Raptis is off first, and what a comeback for Alexis Raptis as Ariel Lowen is in, followed by Emma Lawson. Now Alex Kazan looks to be the next woman to finish, and she is in. Now let's keep in mind the times for the prior heats that could factor in here. A no rep for Horvath. And now she is done. So Laura Horvath is in. She's going to take 5th place in the heat, but that's 15th in the test. So Emma Lawson may have erased that deficit as Annie Thorsdottir comes across. And now Gabby McGowan is in. So Alexis Raptis wins her heat. She's going to finish 3rd in the test and pick up 94 points. It looked like Laura Horvath was threatening to run away with this thing, but then Ariel Lowen and Emma Lawson kept the pressure on, and then Alexis Raptis
got past her as she went. Got past her as she went. Quick transition, right on over to the dumbbell. Felt the pressure from Ariel next door. Here comes Emma Lawson, but it was all Alexis Raptis with this dumbbell.
Look at the pace from Alexis Raptis.
Cycling it so fast.
Overall results here from the 5 heats. Jamie Simmons is going to pick up the win. It's the 2nd of her career. Emma Carey finishes 2nd, and it's Alexis Raptis with a great effort at the end to finish in 3rd place, and she is with Nikki Brazier.
Alexis, when you are going rep for rep with the women on your left and right, how do you find the energy at the end of a grueling test like this to pull ahead?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm like, okay, they're going through it too, so I can do it too. And I just think about that, and I don't want to leave anything on the table. I want to make myself proud, and I did that.
Something really special happens here in the Coliseum with this crowd. How does that affect your mentality as an athlete?
I love competing in the Coliseum. It is magical, like seriously magical. Thank you guys. Helps so much.
Now, you've been through a lot, but there is still so much to come here. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to run fast and try and lift pretty heavy.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's hungry. She says, I ain't leaving anything on that table. We're having it all for the event win here tonight.
Alexis Raptis with a great comeback there to take the 5th and final heat. The women are done. We got 1 heat remaining for the men. Stay with us here as our coverage continues at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. Dave, if the reaction from this crowd is anything like it was for the women, we are in for a treat as we wrap up test number 6 for the men here inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. We got Mike Arsenault and Nikki Brazier down there on the competition floor and outside on the track. Roman Krennikov, you heard Annie talk about the lead that he has built. He has yet to finish lower than 9th. The guy has won 2 tests. He's going to be hard to beat here.
Everything inside the top 10. What more can you ask for your leader here at the CrossFit Games? We've biked long. We've done gymnastics. We've done heavy odd object implements. We've climbed ropes without our legs. We have done everything underneath the sun. And one way to wrap it up tonight was some classic CrossFit.
And to put that lead in perspective, Roman Krennikov could finish dead last in this test, and he would still be the overall leader.
Just showing you, we're not even halfway yet, Sean. This test 6 is the halfway point of the weekend as far as 2 days and 2 days left.
Chandler Smith and Jeff Adler right now, the men rounding out the top 3, trying to keep themselves in the podium position. Test number 6 is a spin on a classic CrossFit benchmark Helen.
400-meter run, 12 bar muscle-ups, 21 dumbbell snatches at 50 pounds, 3 rounds, as fast as you can possibly go.
Recipe for Success is presented by Trifecta.
Hey, we've seen it all day. You got to run like you stole it. There's no plan B. Burn the boats. The late Prefontaine said the best pace is a suicide pace, and today is a good day to die. And that is what these athletes need to bring to the competition floor tonight.
Let's send it down to Nikki Brazier.
Now remember, for Classic Helen, we are used to seeing running, pull-ups, and kettlebell swings. The athletes down here tonight for Helena will be doing running, bar muscle-ups, and single-arm dumbbell snatches. Now for the last few heats, we have seen it come down to an absolute sprint on those dumbbell snatches to the finish, but the run seems to be a massive separator. And for more on the run, let's send it out to Mike Arsenault.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Typically, there is an advantage in being in the final heat. That benefit is even more pronounced here in test number 6. At this time in the evening, the temperature has dropped, the sun has disappeared, and the breeze has picked up. So much more comfortable running conditions for our top 8 men. We'll see if that plays a factor in their times here in test number 6.
It's not just the temperature, Sean. It's the hour extra rest that this heat got to have as well.
Here are the 8 men who will be in this 5th and final heat. Overall leader Roman Krennikov will be right in the middle of the floor. And as I mentioned, he could take this test off and still be your overall leader. Chandler Smith right now sits in 2nd place. And if this guy wins this test, the roof is going to come off this place.
Huge favorite, has been knocking on the door for a long time now, sitting in 2nd place behind Roman.
And we are underway. Final heat, time to beat belongs to Will Morad from heat number 3 at 8:05.63 seconds.
Will Morad was so quick when he got into the Coliseum, but he was a great runner as well. 1 minute and 14 seconds on that first 400-meter time check.
Roman Krennikov out front of Jonakoski out of Finland. Jonakoski won the opening test here at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. 3rd time in his career he's won the first test. Canada's Jeff Adler right behind him.
No surprise to see Roman leading out front. This is a guy that is not afraid to take it to the field.
G-Shock is giving you a chance to win a new G-Shock watch, a CrossFit Level 1 seminar, and more than $400 in CrossFit swag. Terms and conditions apply as Roman Krennikov, followed by Jonakoski and Jeff Adler. The 12-bar muscle-ups is next for these men. They have to go from a full hang to a supported position above the bar for the rep to count, and they have to pass through a dip portion for pressing themselves up in order for the repetition to count.
Let's think in mind of what these athletes have done over the last 2 days. 6 legless rope climbs, 100 toes to bar, 50 chest to bar pull-ups. They've done clean and jerks. They've done pig flips. Their grip is absolutely smoked coming into this afternoon's test.
Well, Jonakoski, Jay Crouch, and Dallin Pepper, the first 3 men to the dumbbells. There is Jonakoski. Koski coming in 7th place overall with 314 total points.
Time check from the time to beat, 2:39, set by Will Morad.
Jay Crouch and Dallin Pepper on the right side of your screen. Pepper is in those army green shorts. Jay Crouch is in dark blue. And it's going to be Roman Krennikov, who is off first, followed by Adler, Pepper, Crouch, Koski, Chandler Smith, and now Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson and Brent Fikowski are off. So it's really tight here after one round.
Krennikov came off those dumbbells, shot out like a cannon. And this is the run, Sean. This is the run that matters the most. This is the one in the middle, the one you don't want to do, but you have to do. You don't want to run that fast, but you don't have a choice.
Jeff Adler is starting to creep up on Roman Krennikov. Adler comes in 3rd place overall, and now it's Adler in the lead. Text Jocko to 24672 to get 30% off your order at jockofuel.com. One-time use only, good through August 9th, 2023. Get some.
How about Jeff Adler? The evolution of this kid over the last several years. Really known for his online competitiveness, not necessarily in person. Known for his strength and not his endurance. Now, with years of working on his weaknesses, he is leading the field here in Helena.
And coached by his fiancée, Carolyn Lambre. And now he and Roman Krennikov will be the first 2 men back to the pull-up bar. 12 more bar muscle-ups here in round number 2. 47 reps is the mark that they need to hit. Scoring hat at the top of your screen. Leader in the heat will be on the far left, and the number in the white box will indicate how many repetitions he has completed. The number in the white box next to everyone else's name will show how many reps they trail the leader.
124 on that 400-meter split. Will Morad's second one was 130.
Will Morad does have the time to beat. Did it in heat number 3, 8:05.63 seconds. And Adler is now down. He'll be the first man to that 50-pound dumbbell. And here comes Roman Krennikov. So Adler only trails Chandler Smith by 7 points for 2nd place overall. Chandler Smith on the right side of your screen. You get 100 points for a win, 97 for a second, 94 for 3rd, and so on and so forth as you work your way down the standings. .68 reps is what Jeff Adler in those black shorts left side of the screen is looking to hit. Fellow Canadian Brent Fikowski on the left side of your screen as you look at all 8 men here in this 5th and final heat.
Time check, 5:29.
5:29 when Will Morad got done with this, and Jeff Adler is way ahead of that. Now here comes Roman Krennikov. Jay Crouch from Australia will be the next man off, followed by Brent Fikowski and Chandler Smith. Jeff Adler starting to open up a bit of a lead over Roman Krennikov, who just rounded the corner. You saw him there in the background in the white leader's jersey.
Here's the incredible thing about Jeff Adler. Usually when an athlete has a deficiency and they focus on that weakness, they pay for it in that strength. Jeff Adler not only has gotten better at endurance and speed and gymnastics, but he continues to get stronger in the process, and that is a prototypical CrossFit Games athlete.
This is his 5th individual appearance at the CrossFit Games. Jeff Adler was 5th overall last year. His 2nd finish of his career inside the top 5. And looking to improve on that here in 2023. And he will be the first man back into the Coliseum. $12 bar muscle-ups, 21 dumbbell snatches left for Jeff Adler. As you can see Roman Krennikov making his way in.
Jeff Adler just ran a 127, Sean. That is the fastest 3rd run split of any athlete today.
Krenikoff is on to his bar muscle-ups. Chandler Smith just got started. Jake Crouch as well. And Brent Fikowski, keep an eye on him. He's starting to creep up right now in 4th place. But it's Jeff Adler, middle of your screen, who is in the lead. 1 rep left for Adler, then it's onto the dumbbell. This won't be a problem. 50 pounds on that dumbbell, 21 snatches. Got to go from ground to overhead. That's a lock out his arm for the rep to count. You have to alternate hands in the process. 102. That's the score that Adler needs to hit to close things out. Now here comes Roman Krenikoff in 2nd place, 805.63. That's your time to beat now. Chandler Smith in 3rd. Five left for Jeff Adler. Pace picking up. Final rep for Jeff Adler. And he's going to take the test. Sub 8 minutes for the man from Canada. And Roman Krenikoff only has a couple of reps left. Chandler Smith is trying to put the pressure on him. Krenikoff is going to come in 2nd place in the heat. And now here comes Chandler Smith just ahead of Jay Crouch. Brent Fikowski is in. And now Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson with no shirt on just climbing up to the top. This is his 10th straight appearance here at the CrossFit Games. Dallin Pepper is done. And now Yona Koski to close out the 5th and final heat. But it's Jeff Adler, 3rd place overall, looking to move into 2nd as he only trailed Chandler Smith by 7 points, and he beat Smith here in this test. 2nd career win for Jeff Adler, and the only man to complete this test inside of 8 minutes.
Jeff Adler has been improving year in and year out. Slowly, methodically, the right way. Every year at the games, there's a test where an athlete does something special. Every year there's a test where an athlete shows that they can be a CrossFit Games champion. What Jeff Adler just did could be that test.
2nd career win for Jeff Adler, picks up 100 points in the process. Will Morat's going to get his best finish of the CrossFit Games. He'll take 2nd, followed by Lazar Jukic, Noah Olson, and another top 5 finish for Roman Krenikoff as he is threatening to run away with this competition. But let's send it down to Nikki Brazier with Jeff Adler.
Jeff, when the pressure is on, when cuts are coming, when there are 7 other hungry guys on your left and right, how do you attack a test like this to take the win?
I don't care about the cuts. My goal is to be as far from them as possible, so I knew I had a good pace on the run. I knew the guys would go out hot, and it's the 3rd round that counts. I made it count.
We have seen your evolution as an athlete over the seasons. What would standing on the podium mean for you this year?
Yeah, you guys are surprised I can run, huh? Standing on the podium is the goal, and we're working hard to get there. Nothing is free. There's 2 days to go.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Adler, guess who learned to run?
That's dangerous because guess what starts the day off tomorrow?
6 tests down, 6 remain. We got a big day on Saturday as now 30 athletes remain. Coverage on ESPN Plus that will begin at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and then we are live on the mothership between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern with test number 9. That's going to be a blast. The big weights getting rolled out under the lights on Saturday night. Day number 2 is in the books. What an exciting day here at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games as Roman Krenikoff is your overall leader for the men. And it looks like Emma Lawson is going to stand atop the standings for the women. You can head to games.crossfit.com for all your 2023 Noble CrossFit Games information. For Chase Ingram, Stacy Tovar, Nikki Brazier, Mike Arsenault, and our entire crew here in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you tomorrow at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games.